U.S. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, the husband of U.S. Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao, has suddenly surrendered in the election battle. According to media reports, McConnell's wife, Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao, and her family have close ties to senior Chinese Communist Party officials, so it should come as no surprise that McConnell has turned away from Trump during the most heated period of the election. Born in Taiwan, Elaine Chao speaks fluent Chinese and was the first U.S. federal government secretary of Chinese descent. On June 2, 2019, the New York Times published a long article revealing that Elaine Chao and her family's shipping company, Foremost Group, have close ties to Beijing's political and business communities. According to the report, Chao's family ties to the Chinese Communist Party dates back decades. Elaine Chao's father, Chao Shi-cheng, fled China before the CCP seized power in 1949, and at one point went to school with Jiang Zemin, the former general secretary of the CCP. Chao's family later invested in a CCP-owned maritime electronics equipment manufacturer. The company sold mainly to the Chinese Communist Party's military and other departments, and had close ties to the Ministry of Electronics Industry, where Jiang Zemin was a minister at the time. After Jiang became the leader of the CCP, Chao met with him at least 6 times, including in August 1989 in Zhongnanhai, the political center of China after the June 4th Tiananmen massacre. At that time, the CCP was facing international economic sanctions. In 1993, Elaine Chao married McConnell. Since Chao was born in Taiwan and Chao's father was a friend of Jiang Zemin, ambassadors from both sides of the Taiwan Strait, as well as from the U.S., were present at the wedding to congratulate the couple. After the wedding, a grand banquet was held at the Hilton Hotel in New York City, attended by more than 170 guests from China and abroad. The Chinese ambassador to the U.S. at the time, Li Daoyu, was also a guest of honor. Both Jiang Zemin and Zhu Rongji, former premier of China, met with Chao and McConnell during their visits to the U.S. It has been reported that Chao is very well connected in Chinese and U.S. political circles, and because her father was a classmate of Jiang Zemin, Chao called him uncle, a term that implies a very close relationship between the two families. In all 3 of Chao's visits to China so far, Jiang Zemin has made appointments to meet Chao and her husband. Jiang also met personally with Chao's father during his earlier visits to Beijing. The New York Times reported that some of the cargo ships of Chao's family business, the Foremost Group, were built by Chinese state-owned shipyards, some of which were financed by loans from the Chinese Communist government. According to 2019 shipping data, more than 70% of Foremost cargo was shipped to China, mostly iron ore. As Chao's political popularity grew, the CCP wanted to draw the Chao family closer. A CCP outlet has published authorized biographies of her parents in recent years and has held book launch ceremonies attended by senior CCP officials. In addition, during the hearing on the appointment of the U.S. Secretary of Transportation, the Senate asked nominees to list all honorary positions, but Chao did not mention her family's ties to China or disclose her honors in China, such as the position of international advisor to the Chinese Communist Party's Wuhan municipal government. On October 22, 2019, Japan's Emperor Naruhito held a ceremony for his accession to the throne. The U.S. sent Elaine Chao as a representative, and China was represented by Vice Chairman Wang Qishan. According to video footage captured by Japanese media, on the day of the enthronement ceremony, while many guests were seated, only Chao and Wang stood at the back of the room, chatting with each other as if no one else was there. Wang talked with his back to the camera and turned to Chao from time to time. Chao smiled and nodded frequently, and this conversation carried on for several minutes. On September 16, 2019, the U.S. House Committee on Oversight and Reform announced that Congress had begun a formal investigation into incumbent Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao and her family, focusing on whether she used her position to benefit her family through her close ties to the Chinese Communist authorities. In a letter to Chao, the Democrat-controlled House Oversight and Reform Committee cited media reports that Chao was suspected of using her position in the Trump administration to benefit her family's company. The committee asked Chao to submit documents by September 30th, including copies of contact documents between her father, James Chao, and her sister, Angela Chao. In response, the U.S. Department of Transportation issued a statement on September 16th, stating that the committee's allegations against Chao were unreasonable, and a department spokesman said that media attacks targeting the secretary's family are stale and only attempt to undermine her long career of public service. The Wall Street Journal reported that the House Oversight and Reform Committee was launching an ethics investigation into whether Chao used her position as Transportation Secretary to benefit her family. The scope of the investigation includes Chao's use of her official position to enhance the influence and status of the foremost group in the Chinese Communist government and the low-interest loans of hundreds of millions of dollars that the Chinese government provided to the foremost group to purchase foreign ships. A report in the Wall Street Journal also attracted attention. The report cites the book titled Secret Empires: How the American Political Class Hides Corruption and Enriches Family and Friends by Peter Schweizer, an investigative journalist and conservative author. It revealed the businesses of Chao's family and how she easily received business deals worth hundreds of millions of dollars. In the book, Schweizer cited news reports and public corporate records as evidence. The book seeks to demonstrate that the CCP has sought to gain influence over U.S. politics by providing business investment opportunities to the families of U.S. officials, including hundreds of millions of dollars in business to the families of former Vice President Joe Biden and former Secretary of State John Kerry, as well as to the businesses of the families of Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and his wife, U.S. Secretary of Transportation Elaine Chao. Schweitzer wrote in the book that the foremost group, run by the family of Chao, has significant business dealings with China's Shipbuilding Industry Corporation. Foremost ships are built by Chinese state-owned shipyards and partially financed by the Chinese government. These vessels employ Chinese crews in their operations and also carry cargo for Chinese state-owned enterprises. In addition, a government official's financial disclosure document shows that in 2008, Chao and McConnell received gifts worth between $5 million and $25 million from Chao Shi-cheng, the founder of the Formosa Group and Chao's father, and thus doubled McConnell's personal wealth. Schweizer also said that Angela Chao, Chao's sister, was appointed to the board of directors of the Bank of China 10 days after the 2016 U.S. election. Angela Chao's personal profile shows that she is the chairman and chief executive officer of Foremost Group. Leader Mitch McConnell, the husband of U.S. Transportation Secretary, has suddenly surrendered in the election battle. On December 15th, he not only acknowledged Biden as president-elect, but also warned the Republican Party not to oppose the congressional certification of the electoral votes, or there would be trouble. In the early hours of December 16th, Trump tweeted that Trump's allies were condemning McConnell for congratulating Biden. Trump stated that he won 75 million votes, a record for a sitting president, and said McConnell gave up too soon. McConnell betrayed Trump at a critical moment, and there may be a deep backstory behind it. According to Newsweek, last July, McConnell received donations from Dominion voting machine lobbyists. On July 25th of 2019, McConnell also overturned 2 election integrity bills that were unfavorable to Dominion. Thanks for watching. We are actively growing this channel so we can continue to bring you the best information available out of China. Please like, subscribe, and join the conversation in the comment section. Your feedback and participation is greatly appreciated.